Is your protein powder safe? A new report from the Clean Label Project may have you second guessing what you purchase. And if you're not familiar with them, the Clean Label Project is a non-for-profit organization whose mission is to, quote, bring truth and transparency to food and consumer product labeling. In their most recent white paper, the Clean Label Project states that they tested 160 different protein powders from 70 different brands. Many of them are said to be top-selling brands. And the results are not good. Here's an infographic that they show on their white paper. And as you can see, 77% of plant-based protein powders and 79% of organic protein powders tested high for lead. And for those who like chocolate, no love either. 65% of chocolate protein powders also tested high for lead too. So just from those takeaways, you can guess that plant-based protein powders were the worst offenders with the highest levels of lead. And if you're wondering why plant-based proteins didn't do so well, that was attributed to the environment in which those plants were grown. In other words, those environments weren't too healthy. 3 of the 160 brands that were tested high for BPA, bisphenol A, which is an endocrine disruptor. The good news here is that this is significantly less than the 55% of protein powders that tested high for BPA back in 2018, the last time Clean Label Project looked at protein powders. So pretty dire statistics overall, but I want to point a couple things out here. Number one, the benchmark on lead that was used came from Proposition 65. This is the California Safe Drinking Water Act that went into effect back in 1986. The thing to know about Proposition 65 is that the limits that are set forth by California are significantly less than those that are permitted by the federal government. For example, Proposition 65 sets a limit on lead of no more than 0.5 micrograms per day. That's a lot less than the 12.5 micrograms per day set forth by the FDA. Although I would agree the less lead you consume, the better. Now you're probably wondering, what are the brands of protein powder that passed and didn't pass the testing by the Clean Label Project? Great question. When I went to their website, I did not see the brands that did not pass, and likewise they're not mentioned in their white paper either. As for the brands that did pass their testing, if you look at their white paper, they do list 8 different brands of protein powder, and they say that to find the full list, to go to their website. So that's exactly what I did. I went to their website and I searched their search box for protein powders. And when I did that, the only brands of protein powder I saw were Wicked Protein and Nutrabox. Now, when I searched their website a little differently, I did see several other brands that are listed in a sidebar on their website, but I'm unclear as to whether these are the actual brands that passed their independent testing. Now, for comparison, I also looked at the testing that was done by Consumer Lab. Consumer Lab tested 25 brands of protein powders and shakes, and of those 25, 23 of them passed their testing, and that also included lead. The only brand that tested high in lead was a plant-based protein powder. And as an aside, in the past, I've also seen other reports of plant-based protein powders ranking high in lead too. So that's something to consider if you like plant-based proteins. So let's cut to the chase. When you see videos and articles written about the Clean Label Project and their analysis of protein powder, realize that they are using a very stringent benchmark from Proposition 65 when they're talking about lead. That said, I get why people would be alarmed at lead in their food, because nobody really wants that because it's not safe. So if you really want to know for sure how much lead and other heavy metals and contaminants are in your protein powder, contact the company that makes your favorite protein powder and ask to see their certificate of analysis. You want to see a certificate of analysis that is conducted by a third-party independent laboratory. Certificates of analysis will tell you the amount of lead and other heavy metals and toxins that were detected in samples they analyzed. And any company that refuses to share their certificate of analysis with you, that should be a big flag, and you probably want to consider doing business with somebody else.